want. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want.
And I know you mentioned that you did it just for you and solely for you, but like growing up, do you think social media played an impact to why you ended up getting your surgery, or was it genuinely like, I'm doing this for me because I want to feel better?
And they offered me the position if I took out my hair.
So I was more so discriminated against the other girls for my looks. I'm gonna get canceled.
You ever get tired of people telling our story wrong? Yeah, me too. I'm Z, and welcome to Our True Colors, where we unpack Black life, thought, and culture straight from the source. In this episode, we're diving into one of the most heated and heartfelt topics in our community: natural versus enhanced or artificial beauty. We've got 4 stunning women here today, 2 repping Team Natural and 2 for Team Enhanced, and together we're going to peel back the layers, challenge perceptions, and uncover what beauty really means to us. Because at the end of the day, it's more than just makeup, melanin, or maintenance. It's about our identity.
Hello, I'm LaBianca, and I'm on Team Natural.
Hi, I'm Tiara Scarlett, and I'm on Team Natural.
Hi, I'm Crystal Hall, and I'm on Team Enhanced.
Hi everybody, my name is Camille and I am on Team In Between.
Ooh.
Question 1. Wigs, weaves, and surgeries erase Black beauty. If you agree, thumbs up. And if you disagree, thumbs down. 3, 2, 1.
Here's my thing. If we think about historically, a lot of the reason why we have had to do that is because we've needed to accommodate white people. So if I really want to like talk about it. I feel like a lot of what we do is based on what we needed to do in order to be successful, not just in relationships, not just in a world where we needed to be accepted by white people or any other race thereof, but also jobs. There were even points where jobs, and probably still to this day, honestly, yes, still to this day, but just maybe not as much, where people will not hire you because your name sounded too ethnic. Now, only like about 15 years ago, somebody Googled that. Only about 15 years ago or so, it was legal for you not to want to hire somebody and or to make it a ban that you could wear curly hair or your hair natural. That you can fire somebody for their presentation. Black men couldn't go in a professional setting, for instance, with, locks. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I do feel like to a point, I'm not gonna say all the way, because I think that there are a lot of beautiful women out there with weave and with wigs, and they be slaying them wigs. I can't do it, but I love seeing it and what they can do and how they can change their looks, and I love that we are so dynamic with our appearances. But all in all, I think it can tend to erase Black beauty. I also used to have a relaxer in my hair. Now I'm growing it out because I don't really think we should need relaxers. I think my curly hair is beautiful.
So I struggle a little bit with this one because I do see how we make the wig companies millionaires. So, and we make it and we turn it up, turn it out, turn it every which way, and everybody wants to copy us because it's just who we are. We are the status quo. I feel. However, I struggle because I do see where the assimilation takes hold. I myself, when I came out of college, I applied for Hooters because I thought it was going to be fun and cool to work there. And I had literally just got Senegalese Swiss. I was cute. And they offered me the position if I took out my hair. I remember when I was in college thinking it was crazy to be natural because it was so foreign to me. I grew up with relaxers. So seeing girls walk out with a fro, it's like, what in the world are they doing? Not doing their hair. So that's why I struggle.
Did y'all watch the movie Nappily Ever After?
Yes.
So I remember sitting there watching that, and before she jumped into the pool, my mom, she put me into swim lessons very early, but I always would have a swim cap on. But I have a very I don't know. I guess it's 4C. I don't know which one it is, but my hair type is it's very curly. It'll curl up very quick, and so I would be so nervous that my hair would come up. But the older I got, and then when I got into corporate America, when I was about to take my LinkedIn what is it called? Headshot. Yeah, my headshot. I got nervous because I had a sew-in in, but I said this, I didn't feel like it was fully me because I had started wearing my hair out, and my hair, it became almost a identity thing, and I didn't want to get into the office and be like, oh, well, this is not me. I felt like they would have that implicit bias, like, oh, this isn't even this girl that's on the picture. And so I would just get very, very nervous. And so at one point I decided to do both. I took a headshot with my natural hair out, and I also took a headshot with my sewing in. And I do not believe when the question asks erase black beauty. I don't believe in either one of those. Was I less beautiful or was I not myself? It's just a matter of how you feel that day and how I felt showing up and how I wanted to show myself to the world. And so when you use the term erase black beauty, I simply just don't believe hair, nails, makeup, whatever else, surgeries can erase that, because you know the old saying, beauty comes within, comes from within. But yeah.
Erase was a hard word.
Yeah.
Erase was a very hard word.
I think erase was a hard word. That's why I was contemplating what I wanted to say and how I wanted to articulate it. But I think piggying back from what you said, I think it does come from within. It does stem from who you are as a person, what you like, what your preferences are, and what you're willing to do. You know, if you want to wear locks, wear locks. If you want to wear your hair relaxed or natural, I think that's up to your discretion. So I feel like erasing it, no, everybody just has different preferences. So it just depends on, you know, your depth with everything and how you want to look from day to day.
Question 2. Women who wear their natural hair are perceived as less desirable. 3, 2, 1.
I agree only because of what's been televised. I feel like people like the idea of natural hair when it's long and when it's big, not the in between, the rough stages where you're having to grow and you're sitting at home and you haven't did any condition or anything. You just rolled out of bed. They don't like that natural hair. I think people really more so like the natural hair at what they see in wigs. They like the well done trim when it comes to natural. I don't think they like the reality of it.
Here's the thing about when it comes to black beauty. People will just say things just to say it. So I think that a lot of times when people say that natural women are less desirable, it's just another way of trying to control what we do. So I don't think that that's actually the case, because there are a lot of people that will say like natural beauty is more desirable, but then they'll only let's talk about dating for 2 seconds. They'll only pick the girls with the nails and the long hair and the weave and the eyelashes. Not that that's a bad thing, just saying they'll only pick them and then only talk about them in a negative light. So, and then the natural girls are like sitting here like, but I'm natural and you've never looked at me once. So that honestly, that conversation is null and void to me.
People just say stuff to say stuff, and a lot of times it comes from their insecurities, in my opinion. So, you know, they'll be like, oh, because I don't wear, let's say if I didn't wear lashes and makeup, if I saw somebody else, I'd be like, oh, they're more desirable. But that might be an insecurity of mine, you know, or you might have had a situation where you might have dated a guy and he didn't like you for you. So now you think anything outside of you is, you know, what should be the most popular look or whatever at the time. So I don't know. I feel like that's a tricky question.
I think it's changing now, because I remember in school, like when I would go out, I would have to make sure that I had some type of weave in my hair, because I did not want to go out with my natural hair to the club or to anywhere else, because it was like, oh, they're not going to look at me. I wasn't trying to be like, a pick me, hi, everybody, I'm here. But it was just more so, I just didn't feel like the eye gaze would be towards me if I didn't have nails, hair, something else added onto me. But
like
again, that was
boost.
a insecurity that I had. But I do know now, I feel like that's changing, because I've been out, just even out at a restaurant, and I've seen, women of all types come in and they are gorgeous and they get the looks. So I think even I'll say before COVID, I think it's changing a lot now for natural women.
I agree.
It is. So I was more so discriminated against the other girls for my looks, and then was complimented by the men in a very toxic way, in my opinion, by the men. So the girls would be like, oh, you know, they come at my hair. I had one girl pretend like or actually go to clip the end of my hair, and I went to go knock her. Scissors in hand, she almost lost an eye. Worth it. And tell me, well, you ever tried braids? You ever tried, doing like edges, or would you ever put on a weave? You should do a weave just once or whatever. And then talk about my hair and say, oh, she doesn't know how to do her hair. Or just they would go and say like, things about me and say that, oh, here's a kicker. Say that I had white girl hair.
Oof.
I am black. I do not have white girl hair. That wasn't. It's not that it's insulting to have white girl hair. It's insulting that I am a black girl and you're trying to change my ethnicity to accommodate. Mm-hmm. That was the problem.
As if black girls cannot have beautiful hair.
Right.
Thank you. Beautiful, long, whatever it is, hair. We all come in different, sizes, shapes, and like shrinkage is a thing. Like, shrinkage, you have long hair. With the men, they would constantly come up and tell me, well, they were attracted to me, yes, in high school, but they would constantly tell me how, oh, I wish other girls would grow out their hair like yours. See, she has long hair. Why can't you have long hair? Why can't you do this with your hair? And I just looked at them like they were crazy, since high school, like, why are you talking to these girls like that? And then they were like, you're different than all the other black girls in your appearance. And I'm just like, ah. So it's kind of the end, what you think it is like separate from me. I'm not proud of that whatsoever. And anytime that happens to me, I'm just like, and next.
Question 3. Cosmetic surgery is damaging to Black women's self-esteem, but uplifting to self-expression. 3, 2, 1.
Would say it's I get why people say it's not a good thing, to get all these cosmetic surgeries, fixing your nose, getting BBLs and different things like that. But you also have to think some people do not do that just to please other people. Some people really do it because they just genuinely want to. Some people might say, okay, I love myself. I love, all that I stand for. But there are some minor changes, some tweaks that I just want to see in myself. And I will use myself for an example. I didn't have like a major cosmetic surgery, but I had weight loss surgery. So it allowed me to lose weight fast, and when I lost weight I felt so much better, for not just for like male gaze or because I was a content creator. It was because that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to lose weight. I wanted to see myself in a different light. I wanted to see myself healthier long term, and I wanted to just be an overall different person for a change, and so I feel like for the right reasons, it's good. But when you do have those moments where people do it for the wrong reasons, it's like, okay, now at what level do we put a stop to it? Like what level do we put a cap to it so people aren't just out here going crazy and then they end up hurting and harming themselves in the long run?
What is the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it for you? I'm actually curious.
As in?
When you said if they do it the right way, then I get it, but the wrong way, then I don't get it. So I'm curious, not arguing, literally curious as to what you believe is the right reason for it and the wrong reason for it.
So example, I would say the right reason is, let's say you just woke up and that was a change that you wanted to do for yourself internally. The wrong reason, let's say you go home and your husband's like, I don't like your nose anymore, and you go get it because he said that.
I'm 4 months postpartum, and so y'all have heard of the mommy makeovers. And so it gets to a point like you almost do not recognize yourself in the mirror. And so when it gets to that point and those questions start coming, and when you speak on right reason, wrong reason, I think for me, I had to, in my head, just tell myself, Camille, go get in the gym and eat a little bit better, and also give yourself some grace, because I think as women, a lot of times, and even scrolling on Instagram, I looked at my own pictures, not even other people, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to look like that before I had a baby. And I did. I started going within and saying, hey, maybe if I went and had a surgery real quick and I would look better after. But you start going within your own head, and your own self-esteem again starts, unbalancing. And when it gets to that point, I think you really have to sit within yourself and also not make super rushed decisions, because that's when I do believe problems start becoming in the mix. When you want to fly to another country and get something done really quickly, and then you come back home a completely different or even worse off than before you even got on the plane.
I have scars that I have like on my chest and keloids and on my shoulders that this one actually I tried to get removed. It didn't happen, obviously. And after that, I just kind of realized that I just needed to not just deal with it, but love them and accept them. And one day I actually put glitter on them, which sounds silly, but I was like, might as well wear them as just accessories, Yeah. And I thought to myself, like, if I can make it as a model and as an actress with these scars, then other people who would see me on screen would be like, I can do that too. If you think about all the other icons in this world who didn't have the beauty standards that were told that they would have to do some type of either breast augmentation or something like that, or like facelift or whatever to be able to make it, and they chose not to, they ended up being inspirations. Now, I'm not just doing it to be an inspiration, but I can honestly say that it does make a difference for some people. Me personally, I was on a Hand & Stone ad, Hand & Stone USA, and I almost cried because I noticed on one of them where they have a Himalayan stone on me that my keloids were still shown. My scars were still shown on my shoulders. That's real body, real modeling, real work. And so with this generation, I do feel like if we were to lean more into natural, and it's happening more and more, then we would start appreciating the natural beauty that comes with life after having a child, or after, depression, or, natural wrinkles that come with age, grays that come with age, just different shades of your melanin simply because of when you stepped outside and came back, and not wanting to worry about tanning if you're lighter skin, if you're dark, like all of that shouldn't really be an effect. If we accepted those things more, and we as, women and men were like, this is great, more people would be inclined to do the same thing and have less power.
Question 4. Black women should embrace their natural features for cultural preservation. 3, 2, 1.
I don't know how to answer that.
What have you start?
Okay. So I decided agree because, especially here in America, we already are so detached from our roots. And from what I see, a lot of these surgeries are starting to look alike, and we all start like, you can't tell who, if it wasn't for the color of our skin, we wouldn't know who was what. And though a lot of people feel like if we erase color, that the world would be better, but I disagree. Diversity is what makes us better, because without diversity, we can't challenge each other's perspective. We can't grow. We can't heal. We can't bridge gaps. And that is so necessary for the human experience. And part of being human is maintaining and keeping the cultural integrity intact, so that future generations can look back at who we've become, what we've done. And part of that is being able to identify with one another.
It's key to make sure that we do not lose our culture, because culture is culture. But when you define culture right now, like if you look back into the Black culture, like what is that to that individual? What does that mean? Because even for my 2 sons, and I look for them, getting older and looking out into the world, and I always want them to look back and say, my mom, she was well kept. She did this with herself, just not always put together, but whether I had whatever on my hair, they knew that it was mommy. But I do know when my son, when he was 6, I was on the way to the hair salon, and he was like, Mommy, do all Black women wear weave?
Oh.
And
Yeah.
that question really sat with me, y'all, because I went back like to his life, and I said a lot of that time I did have a sew-in in my hair, and he would watch me. Like my son has literally watched me cut my sew-in out of my hair. And so I said, do I want this to be his perspective? I want him to have a balanced perspective, but not always think that just to be beautiful or just to
You have
be
to have a weave-in.
present, to have your presence out in the world, that you have to have weave in your hair.
Yeah.
So I started balancing my hairstyles because I said natural beauty is something I want him to see.
Question 5. Black men prefer natural women. 3, 2, 1.
They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. Just put that in the captions. Put it above my head. I will think it. I don't care. They don't know what they want. Let's be real. They be saying that they want a girl who has like long hair, and they be like, oh, but I don't want her to have weave. They be like, they want a girl who's like, you know, darker skin. Be like, oh, melanin. And they go and they prefer, you know, and they pick lighter skinned women. Or they say, well, I just want my woman to be submissive. And then they go and pick someone who doesn't look like us. They don't know what they want.
Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair. They don't know what they want. I really, truly believe that. Now, I think that some men have a warped idea of what they think they want. And I think that and I'm speaking generally, too, because there are some wonderful men out there that know exactly what they want, and they are just loving on beautiful Black women regardless, without running their mouths.
From a different perspective, though, especially when we think of enhanced and natural, I also think about lifestyles, not just appearance and hair, makeup, beauty, surgeries, or whatever. I think about the lifestyles, too. Like, for instance, they want a good girl that's at home, but they want to go out and hang out with the girl that might be a little bit more outgoing. So it's like, what do you want overall? It's not even just the appearances.
Yeah.
And I feel like in both aspects, they don't really know. They might want to have fun, but they still want something certain when they come home at the end of the day. So I think it's one of those topics. It's just like, we don't know. It's just hard to determine. It's just hard to determine.
Yeah. I mean, because if you just think about what they keep saying versus what they keep doing, it's like completely different spectrums here.
Yeah.
You can't say that you want a natural woman, but then you keep your IG shows all these women with, you know, enhancements. Like, I don't even want to name the enhancements because I don't want to offend anybody, but like, if you're saying that's not what you want, and you're talking about these women and what they're doing, you're talking about women who are, you know, wearing the things that they're wearing, yet you're going after them, not even in a dating sense, if you think about it. A lot of the times when they go after women that they're talking about, they're going after them in a sexual manner and then talking about them later on, which is even more disgraceful and more offensive. So that's why I say they don't know what they want. For me, it's looking like it's getting worse and worse that they don't know what they want. They just know what their warped idea is in their head. That is somewhat not realistic. To me, but.
So for me, I'm shaky on that because I don't know what other men want. My man want me and my naturalness. Yeah. And the people we surround ourselves with also the same thing. Like, we're surrounded by men and women that are Black, that are married, that are figuring it out, that are natural. One of my girlfriends, she natural one day, she got 2-5 wigs on the next 3-4 days. She whoever she want to be in the day. However, our men are standing solid on that. However, then I get on Facebook and social media and it look like a bunch of confusion. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
That's a trick one.
Yeah.
I could say in my circle the men seem to know what they want, but on social media it look like a shit show. Can I say that? I heard they been peeing in the pool. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm happy I don't know what's going on.
It's not even pee anymore, it's urine.
Oh,
Straight urine.
Like,
We're not giving it a nickname, it's urine.
I'm happy I'm not swimming in it. How about that?
With tequila.
Me too, girl. It's okay. Me too.
Question 6. Eurocentric beauty standards are still shaping how Black women present themselves. 3, 2, 1.
I actually think it's the opposite.
Speak on it.
Because when you get on Instagram and you see the surgeries that was mentioned earlier, for me, it just reminds me of my Black beautiful queens, whether it's behind, up top, lips. Lips is a huge one.
Yeah.
I do believe it's switching. I do think at a certain time when we're talking about long hair, whatever, all of that, it was influenced a lot of just trying to, I won't even say fit in, except to get a job, heck. And so, but right now, I think our culture is, I feel like they go show their phones and say, this is what I want, and it's a Black woman. Kim Kardashian, do not cancel me if you ever see this video, but when you look at like a lot of enhancement. Wait!
Double.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, straight like that.
Oh, wow.
I do think a lot of influence is from our culture and what Black women stand for.
But with a different skin tone.
They like it on other people.
Yeah.
For why, I don't know. We still do it best.
I know that's right. As a community of Black people, I'm constantly hearing that we are trying to stick with our own things. It's not so much European anymore. If you think about it, even that we're coming up with more tights and whatnot that's more flesh colored, more makeup that's more like skin tone oriented. So like you can just find one shade and then try to mix it in anymore. Like more of that is happening. We're finding hair that's more like protective styles, so much as like, you know, this is the Asian hair or whatever. We're not doing that as much anymore. I'm also starting to see that, you know, for I dance, so watching Misty Copeland put on shoes, she explained that she's had to most of her life have to, you know, make up, you know, her ballet shoes. Whereas now they're creating more shoes and more attire to be of flesh color. And it used to be
True flesh color.
because it used to be called nude for everything pink and, you know, white. And now like they're actually like changing the names of everything. So I think that if you had asked me about 10 years ago, I think that I would have agreed. But in terms of now, we are very much becoming more, you know, in a way like, let's fight against the idea of being outside of our race in terms of like culture speaking and what we should do physically and whatnot. If you choose that, that's cool. But I think, you know what I mean? Like we're loving the afros and the curls now. We're loving the melanin more now. We're accepting it more, which is really nice.
Regardless, because if you look at different cultures, if you go on different sites and Google different hair, we've had it all.
Yeah.
I mean, even red hair, freckles.
Yeah.
Like,
There are
it's
some
still up.
Black gingers, naturally born Black gingers.
My
Like
brother has freckles all over his little black face. Like,
yeah. That's a thing.
So I mean, it's still us.
Some Black people naturally grow blonde
Yeah, we
hair.
are the blueprint.
Whether
Yeah, I
you
agree
want
with
to
that.
accept it or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are the originators. And we make everything poppin'.
Yeah, I think we are we're definitely the originators, but they try to make it and swindle it to as if we're copying them. And it's like, no.
I know.
Everything we have, you take, and then you try to
Resell
make
it
it.
to us.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect way to put it.
But our culture does come from our history. So it's like, well, yeah.
Our
you know?
history has been altered a lot, though, and that's
Yes.
the thing where when Crystal mentioned they try to resell it back to us. When we, as a culture, have to, and I will say, I honestly think that we have to do better of standing on that and not letting it be altered, even in schools when they teach, like. We genuinely, as now the generation that is going to have to start teaching more, have to have that.
The final discussion. What role does media and social influence play in how Black women see themselves?
It plays a huge, a huge influence on how we see ourselves, whether, you know, you look at yourself in a negative light or if you look at yourself in a positive light. And that's one of the things with social media as a whole. It can be very tricky if you don't, you know, take the necessary breaks, or if you don't know how to block out the negative parts of it. It can definitely impact your brain. As a, you know, a watcher on social media, and then also as a content creator, you know, it's tough, but I see both sides of the spectrum a lot. As someone who influences people, you know, to have confidence, to, you know, be themselves authentically in whatever ways, and to always embrace their bodies no matter what size they are, you know, you're doing a good thing. But then you have some that, you know, believe in having the heavy surgeries, that believe in the heavy makeup and different things that people might, you know, be on the spectrum of. And it's like, dang, do I need to look like that, or do I need to continue doing what I want to do with myself and my body and how I already look? So I think, you know, social media does have a strong impact, but you just have to figure out yourself and learn yourself so you don't let it affect you. And that can be hard, it can be tough, but I feel like also curating your algorithm so you follow those people that instill greatness into you. If you know that that girl, when she posts, it makes you feel bad about yourself, why are you following her? Why are you entertaining her? Why are you retweeting her stuff, or, you know, reposting her stuff? Follow those people who are pouring into you affirmations, who are, you know, showing you how to dress within a budget if you're insecure about your finances, you know? So I think you gotta basically curate your feed so it doesn't put you in a rut. Social media should be fun. Social media should be an outlet and, you know, a way to express yourself and for us to like connect with others, family and friends. But sometimes it goes in the wrong direction. But I still feel like at the end of the day, you know, you have to make it work for yourself.
Yeah. I think where it kills me is that I have worked with teenagers. I was a dance teacher in a middle school. Loved my kids and loved the diversity of my kids. So it really bothered me the way that they would talk and the things that they would see on social media, what they believed that they should look like, act like, all this other stuff. It hurt my soul because I can speak for myself in saying growing up, I didn't feel like at 12 I needed to look grown.
Agreed.
Yeah, same.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. But we also didn't have
The same thing.
the same things. We weren't privy to like all the other stuff and the influences that, you know, there are now. I had Disney Channel that was focused on.
Girl, 12 years old, I'm still rocking pigtails.
Right. I wanted to look like Tia and Tamira, but like they looked quite nice, you know?
yeah.
They were grown, but it wasn't the same. Now you got like that channel Zeus. Oh.
Yeah.
My eyes hurt watching that. I'm not gonna lie to you, just because like I couldn't believe that my kids were watching this. If you think about it, a lot of teenagers are watching this.
And then you can see it when they're in the principal's office because they have tried to reenact a fight on Zeus with another girl.
Yes.
So,
They think it's
Yes.
cool.
Yes. So yeah.
but I do remember being younger, and it wasn't even from social media. I was very tiny. Like, I'm still tiny, but I was like bones when I was little. And it would get to the point, like, people would be like, oh, do you eat? Do you need, like, you need a cheeseburger? Oh my gosh. And so the older I got, that played in my head. It played in my head to when I did get social media, I started comparing myself to certain people. It got to the point I tried everything to gain weight. I ordered some crap that probably could have killed me on Amazon to try to gain some weight when I was like, I think 16. And so I vividly just remember like, oh, this girl has this, again, social media.
Yeah.
And so when Crystal made a great point, watch who you follow, because again, these phones, they listen. They listen. And so having a what is it, For You page that is genuinely for you and not like this fake made up idea of your life and what you think your life is supposed to look like is super important. Like, now I have literally went through my follow list, and I follow health pages, herbalists, people that I know when I'm on it, it's not going to drain me and deplete me and have me questioning myself after I get off of social media. I know you mentioned your surgery. Do you think, I know you mentioned that you did it just for you and solely for you, but like growing up, do you think social media played an impact to why you ended up getting your surgery, or was it genuinely like, I'm doing this for me because I want to feel better?
That's a good question. I think a little bit, just a little bit, I will say social media does play a part in it. But for me, though, I embraced it, especially when I got to college. That's how I built my brand. I built my brand and who I am and my Instagram based off of being the plus size girl who was more confident, who, dressed well on campus, and people began to know me for that. So once I started embracing that, I was like, oh, okay. Because from high school and then going to a whole different city where nobody really knew you, it gave me the chance to reinvent myself. So when people ask, like, did you do it because like you received negativity, it wasn't really that, because I was already getting love from people for being plus size. When I lost weight, it was still the same love. If anything, I'm getting negative comments now because that plus size community is so small in a sense. So, well, not even small, but they don't get the same love verbatim. So I would say, through high school, of course, you have your moments, you have rough times, but I went to a school in a small country town. So it's like everybody knew everybody. But also like the people that were next to me were like 9 out of 10 my cousins. So it's like you say something to me, I'm joking back with you, like, so it wasn't like I went to a big school and I was bullied. So I feel like my experience with my with being plus size at that time was different than somebody else's who may have also been plus size. So my reasoning for losing weight is a little bit different.
So my babysitter, she actually is about to graduate, and one thing I love about it, and the question being, does it influence us as Black women? She was not allowed social media, and I plan on banning it for my kids as well, because of what you just said about what your children experience and how they engaged or how they showed themselves at school. Like, I 100% believe that it should be curated, and I do curate mine based on where I want to be in the future, what I want to see when I get on there. It's surrounded by married couples, married tips, home ownership, holistic, like you said, herbalist, stuff like that. But for that generation, that's scary.
It's even worse
of what they can come in contact with, because everybody's not like you. Promoting confidence and self-love. Some people are really out there doing damage and coining it as comedy. And kids don't know what's real and what's fake.
For me, my parents instilled so much admiration for my natural beauty and essence. Part of that was my dad saying, you don't need this because you're beautiful. My mom saying, you don't need this because you're beautiful. There were some trials and tribulations, but at the end of the day, there was also my dad being extremely vain and saying, I look great. And then, and then being like, oh, well, you look like me, so of course you're going to look beautiful. Those kind of things. Like, but it's the constant filtering of like, adding these nice things into your child so that you believe in what, you should look like and how you should act and how awesome you yourself by yourself is. And then when you get on social media, so me as a person, I'm extremely confident. And it's not because I'm a perfect person. I think I'm a 10. It's because I'm a Leo.
I totally
right, and because I realize that yes, my features are nice, but I don't want to change nothing, because the person who should be around me and or the people that are going to accept me are going to accept me because of who I am, and they and I will be better.
I think protecting that, you show up as you, again, whether that
always
is